Halo Reach. It came out in September of 2010, and it has made over $200 million in its first day. A lot of time has passed since then, and a lot of the excitement and hoopla over it has died down, so I feel it's a good time for me to make a video about what I thought about it, why I love it, and why I hate it. Now, before I get into the real meat of this video, why I hate Halo Reach, I first want to touch on some of the things that I loved about the game. So to start with, 10 years of Halo games have given us a lot of tweaking and refinement to the controls, ending in what is the most intuitive and easy-to-use control layout for any console shooter. It's almost perfect. The online play is awesome. There's not a lot of maps out for it yet, not until there's more DLC anyways, but the sheer variety of game types more than makes up for it. The Forge map maker that's built into it is also great too. There's a lot of different things that people have been doing with it so far, and there's also integrated into the game a way to save your game footage and share it with other players too. The experience point and ranking system in Halo Reach is much improved over Halo 3's version. The system is streamlined, easier to understand, more fun to use. There's less people cheating and boosting, and for those who are, the banhammer still does come down, and the armor customization is awesome. You can do so much with your armor and really create a unique look for your character. There's also special armor that you can unlock as well if you played through Halo 3 and Halo 3 ODST. Halo Reach is a great, awesome game. It has excellent controls, excellent online multiplayer, great customization options. I also forgot about the music. The music is fantastic as well. All of this stuff and more makes it a must-have game if you have a 360. So those are some of the reasons why I love Reach. But now it's time to go on to the reasons for why I hate Reach. Let's go back to the early days of the original Xbox, all the way back to October 2001, about 1 month before the original Halo came out and the first Halo novel is released. Halo: The Fall of Reach is the greatest of the Halo novels and also the most important. It explains who Master Chief is, where he came from. It explains how the Spartans were made, what kind of stuff they did, the Covenant invasion of Reach. It is the pillar that the rest of the franchise is based on. Now, I don't want to give away any spoilers for this book, but I will say that the battles and the events that take place in this book are far more epic than what's taking place in this game. Even if there were no Halo video games, the novels written by Eric Nylund would still stand on their own as great science fiction novels. If you've never played a Halo game, if you don't have an Xbox at all, you'll still like these books. And for the past 10 years, this has been the Battle of Reach. June 2009. Halo Reach is announced at E3, and this teaser image is shown. Halo fans began to speculate who these new Spartans were, and if they were from the books. A lot of fans were excited at the idea of seeing their favorite Spartans from the novels in action in a game. Well, it turns out that Bungie had a completely different idea on how the Battle of Reach was supposed to unfold. They pulled a George Lucas on us. Let me explain this. Now, way back when George Lucas was making the prequels, there was already almost a decade of novels that had been written. In fact, Star Wars kind of died out in the late 80s, early 90s, and the novels brought it back into focus. People were excited. People were reading all these novels, getting excited about the new movies. But Lucas decided to ignore all that stuff that was done in the novels and go his own way. Bungie is doing the same thing. Instead of building on the base that had already been created by the novels, they just ignore them and do something completely different. They should have used this as the base upon which Halo Reach was built. This should have served as the framework for that. This has already been established with Halo fans for almost a decade. But they ignored it and gave us this, which does not in any way connect with the novel. There is no relation to these at all. Oh sure, they put Dr. Catherine Halsey in here, but that's really it. That's the only carryover from the novel. Why replace something awesome with something not awesome? This is not broken. It does not need fixing. This is not as good as this. Oh, but wait, look! They updated it. They updated it. They came out with a new version of the book Fall of Reach shortly before the release of the video game Halo Reach. So I imagine since this is re-released, it's advertised as having new material, I imagine that it's going to be more in line with the game, right? That this is going to have some rewritten chapters, maybe some extra chapters. No. This does not have anything new. This does not have any relation to the game at all. These are the same thing. There's no difference story-wise between these. This, same story as this. They're exactly the same story. Now, this does have some additional content at the end of it. There's a little bit about a couple of soldiers that see Noble Team on Reach. But it doesn't make sense, because those events don't make sense for this book unless this book is rewritten. So they didn't really try very hard to get these to fit together. They don't fit together. They could have, but they didn't. So now we're set with two Halo universes. There's the novel Halo universe and the video game Halo universe. This one is better. It makes more sense. This, the Invasion of Reach, was kind of, yeah, well, okay, I guess I can follow it and believe it. This is way, way better. Look, I know about expanded universe. I'm familiar with the idea. I'm a Star Wars fan. Star Wars, there's the movies, and then there's everything else. So we've got that for Halo 2. But what I'm saying is that it didn't have to be that way. Let's take a look at the Gears of War franchise, for example. You've got the games, and you've got the books. And you know what? It's the same thing. This is not expanded universe material here. This is official. This fits in. They complement each other. They like each other. They get along. It's all the same storyline. In fact, Karen Traviss, the girl that wrote the novels, she's also writing the new Gears of War game, Gears of War 3, written by Karen Traviss. Karen Traviss is really great at handling continuity. She made sure that the books were in line with the Gears of War games. She also did a bunch of Star Wars books as well. Those were really great too. And no surprise, she's now taking over the new Halo novel. I'm hopeful that she'll be able to clear up the continuity mess that Halo Reach has caused. I hope that she can somehow get it to actually fit in with the novels properly. Because right now, why don't these fit? Come on! Come on! Make sense! Fit together!